Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint was Bobby's Kitten. We're joined now by Joel Rosario and Chad Brown. Mr. and Mrs. Ramsey are making their way here, but we'll go ahead and start with these two. Congratulations, gentlemen. Just an incredible finish. Joel, why don't you talk to us about the trip? I mean, you went 10 wide and then came flying. Just describe it to us.
Yes, he broke fine out of the gate, and I was having a little bit of trouble in the beginning because he showed more. He broke well, and then a couple horses was in the way, and then I kind of take a lot of time to really work it out exactly what I want to be, and then after half of the race, I was in the inside, and I was in hold. I could have been a little closer, but I can't. And then I just let it after everybody go and coming around, and then he showed a really good tuning for this horse tuning for home, so I was happy with this race.
Chad, your third winner on the weekend. I mean, were you surprised to see him drop back that far?
Yeah, surprised and concerned. That wasn't really our plan, but as we know with horse racing, when the gate opens, oftentimes it doesn't go to plan. And a big key to getting Joel on this horse was thinking about this race down the hill. We put him on this horse at Woodbine last time out, so we can get a feel for him with this race in mind. And he's ridden this hill so well. I knew I wasn't going to have the advantage of having a race over the course, and I at least want a jockey that has experience down the hill and has won as many races as he has, and it all worked out. I was worried until about halfway through the race. I kind of figured out what he was doing, and he's going to try to make that one move and nail everybody, and he did. It was a little closer than I thought. Watching it live, I thought he was clearly the winner, and I just watched the replay right there, and I'm glad I didn't have to sweat out the photo. I would have been worried about it.
So this was.
Yeah.
Oh, Ed.
Yeah, that was gonna say, thank you, to Chad to let me ride it, to give me the opportunity to ride it, and I was really happy with that. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Chad, it's amazing not only because the quirkiness of the downhill turf course, but this was his first time sprinting. Can you just talk about coming the decision to try this race?
Really just out of frustration because we think this horse is a miler and a really good miler, and we've tried him further than a mile, and obviously last year right here at the Breeders' Cup, heavy favorite in the juvenile turf, and we brought 12 horses here last year, and I clearly thought this was our best chance to win. And the disappointment when he ran off in the race and was really uncontrollable it's taken me the full year to really get over it until this win. I just thought that was one Breeders' Cup that got away from us. So rather than fight with the horse anymore, I figured let's just cut him back in distance, and maybe they'll run away from him a little bit, and he won't be fighting the rider so much, and it worked out well.
So everybody knows this was Joel's third Breeders' Cup win and Chad's fifth, although, of course, his third on this weekend. Chad, can you just talk about, there's still a chance that we might see you again. You've still got 2 live horses, but
yeah.
Can you talk to us about winning 3 Breeders' Cup races, just what you're thinking today?
It's just, I'll tell you, it's just unbelievable feeling, and I'm here doing the interview right now and getting the trophies and all that, but it's really my staff. They work around the clock, and they're working right now, getting these horses ready. And without them and the patience of the clients, it's impossible. I'm flattering the question, but I'm just the front man accepting all this.
We're waiting on Mr. and Mrs. Ramsey to join us here, but can you just talk about their support of you over the last couple of years and the success you've had together?
I'll tell you, it's my whole career, because my very first winner as a trainer was at Churchill. My second starter, first winner ever, was for Ken and Sarah Ramsey. And, in this game right now, to be as loyal as they are to a trainer through the ups and downs, they've been with me since the start, and, they supported me all along, and I'm grateful.
Yes, questions from the room. And I should mention Mrs. Ramsey's joined us, and Ken, we presume, is on the way, but we do have questions while we wait for Ken.
Do you envision him going back to a mile for 2015?
Yeah, at some point. We thought this year as well that the mile race for a 3-year-old against older, even with Wise Dan out, was going to be a little bit too much for him. Hopefully, by this time next year, and of course with the Breeders' Cup not being here and having the access to the downhill, I'd say we'd be working towards the mile next year if he's healthy. That'd be my hope.
Joel, can you talk about riding the downhill turf course in general? Chad was saying how important it was to have a rider with experience and success over it.
Yes, absolutely. They say first time you go there, it's a little bit tricky, because you come out of the gate and if you go the left, you are handling the probably in the shoe that you have over there. So you have to really exactly know where you're going, and when you be there in couple times, then it make it a little easy. Yeah.
Chad, after last year when you had 12 horses in here and you were pretty optimistic going into last year's Breeders' Cup, coming into this one with 11, after what happened last year, do you think about that, the failures that didn't win? How does it affect you going into this Breeders' Cup?
You just got to keep looking forward. Last year we ran 12 horses and we didn't win any, but we had a lot of them run real well. And Santa Anita's been good to us. We've shipped out. We haven't won a Breeders' Cup every time we've come out, but most of the time the horses ship and run well coming out here. And, we went back home after not winning one last year, and we just started to work on it the next day, working towards 2014. And, again, with the help of the clients and my staff, month by month, we just started to gain more and more candidates to make it to Championship Day, and I'm lucky I have a big roster of them.
Do you have any race in mind at Royal Ascot, and what will you be doing with your lovely lady from yesterday? We hope to see her in Europe.
Yeah, thanks. Well, potentially they're both candidates to go over there. I'll speak to the Ramseys about that. He knows the races better than me over there, so we'll just see how the horse comes out first. We're planning on giving him a little break. This horse has been with me steady since he's 2. He's never left my care, so now might be a good time just to give him a well-deserved break right now and just plan into the future. I mean, he's only 3 years old, and Ascot or not, he's got a huge career ahead of him if he stays healthy. And, beyond that, really, like I said, the Breeders' Cup Mile right at Keeneland and the Ramsey's backyard, that'd be the big goal for me.
Are there other questions for Joel before we let him go? Mr. Ramsey's making his way, but I know Joel's got to prepare for later in the card, so. All right, Joel, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barney.
Thank you. Good luck rest of the day.
Appreciate it. You too. Thank you, guys. Good.
Don't even think me to say. I got the lead. I want to make sure Umberto got in here.
Congratulations. Thanks for coming.
You want to bring him up here?
You got it. No, he
Okay.
Mr. Ramsey.
A shot of water here.
All right. Ken Ramsey, thank you for joining us, and congratulations. This is your third Breeders' Cup winner. We've already had a chance to talk to Chad about how this race was run, but I'd like to hear your impressions, especially of the way this horse finished.
Well, I was very disappointed when I saw him dead last. I thought, oh my gosh, another Breeders' Cup nightmare. Then I saw him kicking in on the outside, and I looked at the wire and looked at him, and I didn't know. When he hit the wire, I didn't know if he got it or not. I looked around and said, did he? And they took off the winner's circle.
Your trainer's having an amazing weekend. Can you just talk about your relationship with Chad over the years and the job he did with this horse?
Well, I'll tell you what, Chad, his very first winner was owned by me. I don't know if he told you that or not.
I did. Yep.
I'm not too modest, Anyway, he worked a long time with Bobby Frankel, Hall of Fame trainer, and that's where I got acquainted with him. So when he went out on his own, we gave him some horses, and he said if I give him some of those good Kittens, Joys, he'd get me the Breeders' Cup. And I did, and he did. So he's fulfilled. In other words, the promise made is a debt unpaid, so he's paid his debts. So, but this Breeders' Cup has been especially gratifying. From the depths of despair yesterday when we lost, no, I shouldn't say lost, but our horse, Vickers in Trouble, who challenged for the lead there briefly for a while, ended up pulling up lame, and he's back. We flew him back last night, so he has a condylar fracture, and he'll have surgery in the morning, probably put 2 screws in. But the good news, it's not career-ending, so another 6 months we'll probably be able to put him back in training if all goes well. But the Kittens Joys have won amazingly well. I got a second in the one where Chad won, and then I got a second yesterday where Wesley won. So each of my 2 trainers, their stablemates, beat me. So today, on this one, to come behind like he did, that made everything just. I put a cherry with a. Sunday with the cherry on top, I should say.
Chad gets to keep training for you for a while.
Yeah.
Yes. I got to talk him into maybe taking this horse over to Royal Ascot to run in front of the Queen, though. We discussed it briefly, but anyway, we're on top of the world now, very ecstatic.
Well, this was a very interesting path to winning a Breeders' Cup race. Can you talk about a horse who's never sprinted before, then going and winning a Breeders' Cup race?
Well, Chad's very good at getting him to do something he'd never done before. But to contrast, last year this horse was on the lead in blazing fractions, 21, 44 and change. And then to come from dead last today shows you the versatility. And he had to kick in the stretch. That's what's typical of those Kitten's joys. So it made my stallion proud. And we're not going to raise the stud fee. We're going to keep it $100,000 just like it was last year. But for the people that can't afford $100,000, we've got trained by Chad Brown, the multiple grade 1 winning Real Solution. So he's been retired to the farm to stand for 12-5 stands and nurses. So had to put a little promotion in on my stallion.
I think you've earned the time. That's all right. Are there questions in the room for Ken or Chad? Well, gentlemen, thanks for joining us, and congratulations once again. Incredible performance by Bobby's Kitten winning the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint.
Thank you all very much. My hat's off to Chad Brown, a future Hall of Famer if there ever was one. That's no Chad.
Well,
Very good.
I guess one last thing is what he mentioned earlier was the guy that brought us together really was Bobby Frankel. Ken met me in the barn working for Bobby. He had a lot of good horses with Bobby, and that's how we met. And Ken, it was his idea last year when I got the group of the kittens in. He said, "Now I gave you the best ones, and we reserved one name, Bobby's Kitten. And you don't have to use it this year. I saved it forever. So when you call me and tell me there's a horse that's worthy of that name, we're going to use it. But it's up to you." And the first crop, after, a couple months, I called him. I was between two horses. And one day I told him, he said, "Well, don't get in a rush. You don't have to use it this year." I said, "All right, but there's one." And I put them together, and this Bobby's Kitten beat the other horse by like 20 lengths. And I never work horses that way. And I called him up. He wasn't even pulled up yet. I called him at the farm. I said, "This is the horse. Put the name in before I change my mind." All right? And he named him.
And this is probably the very best Kitten's joy I've ever raised. I mean, we bred him on the farm and raised him, but he's got the making of a stallion. All he needs is that grade 1 behind his name. And I also want to make recognition to Bobby Frankel's #1 man for about 30-some years, Umberto, who Chad invited to come to the races today, and he's in Winter Circle with us, so it's an inspiration to have him out there because the horse was named for his mentor, Umberto. Unfortunately, like my wife, he's had a stroke, so he's pretty good shape.
He's doing terrific.
Would you stand up, Umberto? Let him see you.
Umberto Escaño, Bobby's
This
longtime
man's been there and
assistant.
done that.
He's the man. I'll tell you.
Umberto taught him a whole lot of what he knows.
He's around here. He helped us today. I learned just as much from this guy as Bobby, and that's the truth. This guy.
And for those that aren't down here, Umberto just said Bobby's around here today.
Yes. He is.
All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you, and thank you for sharing those wonderful stories of
Thank
Bobby.
you. Thank you.